Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 5 of September 2024. In a significant relief for Tata Sons, the Adjudicating Authority or AA of the Goods and Services Tax Department has dismissed a GST demand of over Rs 1,500 crore on the company over a settlement deal with Docomo. The department had argued that since the payment was made on behalf of Tata Teleservices, it should be treated as a loan from Tata Sons to the group firm and hence liable for 18% GST. Tata Sons had challenged the claim, arguing that the payment was the outcome of arbitration proceedings in a London court and therefore GST was not applicable. The AA order will act as a precedent for companies engaged in arbitration. The department has the option of contesting it before the High Court. SpiceJet plans to expand its fleet to 100 aircraft by the end of 2026 after raising Rs 3,000 crore through new shares. The airline aims to capitalize on strong market demand and has resolved issues with lessors and manufacturers. It will focus on returning grounded planes to service and acquiring new ones. High net worth individuals are using corporate credit cards for personal expenses during overseas travel to avoid breaching the $250,000 annual limit on foreign remittances. The government may soon implement rules to include international credit card spends under this limit, but distinguishing personal from business expenses remains challenging. SEBI has modified the framework for the valuation of investment portfolios of alternative investment funds or AIFs. Under this framework, securities other than unlisted, non-traded or thinly traded securities will now be valued in accordance with mutual fund regulations. The change came after SEBI received feedback from the AIF industry, which highlighted issues with certain aspects of the valuation framework for AIFs. The circular shall be effective immediately. Further, AIFs will now have 7 months, which was earlier 6 months, to report valuations based on audited data from investee companies. Tata Steel announced that it has commissioned India's largest blast furnace in Kalinganagar, Odisha, with a total investment of Rs 27,000 crore. It added that the Phase 2 expansion at Kalinganagar will take the total capacity at the site from 3 million tons per annum or MTPA to 8 MTPA. The new blast furnace will significantly boost the plant's overall production capabilities, allowing Tata Steel to meet the growing demands of various industries including automotive, infrastructure, power, shipbuilding, and defense. Indian and international airlines are boosting cargo operations in India due to rising exports, the China Plus One strategy, and economic growth. Key sectors include electronics, pharmaceuticals, and perishables. Major players like Etihad, DHL, and Virgin Atlantic are expanding services with significant investments in infrastructure to meet increasing demand. The Central Potato Research Institute plans to establish a pilot plant to convert potato waste into ethanol. India, the world's second largest potato producer, faces significant post-harvest losses. The plant will be set up in high production regions like Uttar Pradesh or West Bengal, using potato waste and substandard potatoes for ethanol production. In a significant ruling that could reshape tax obligations for multinational companies in India, the Delhi High Court has mandated that MNCs with a presence in the country, whether through liaison offices, subsidiaries, or fixed setups, must pay taxes on income attributable to their Indian operations. This applies even if these companies report losses in their global balance sheets. The three-judge bench delivered the ruling on September 19th in response to a petition filed by UAE-based Hayat International Southwest Asia, which had a permanent establishment at the premises of Hayat Regency in Delhi. The ruling has far-reaching implications for MNCs using similar setups to promote and operate their businesses in India. The Income Tax Department has officially notified the Vivad Se Vishwas Scheme 2.0, aimed at providing a mechanism for settling pending income tax disputes with reduced settlement amounts for those who filed declarations before December 31, 2024. The scheme, introduced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her Budget 2024 speech, comes into effect on October 1, 2024, with accompanying rules and forms now available. MCA has notified the company's prospectus and allotment of securities amendment rules 2024. An amendment has been made to Rule 9B subsection 2, which states that a private company which is not a small company as of the financial year ending on or after March 31, 2023 must dematerialize its securities within 18 months of the closure of the financial year. A new proviso has been inserted to the rule stating that a producer company must comply with dematerialization provisions within a period of 5 years from the closure of such financial year. Foxconn is evaluating an investment of about $1 billion to set up an assembling unit for smartphone display modules in Tamil Nadu. This will be the first such facility to be set up by the Taiwanese contract manufacturer in India, from where it plans to primarily cater to Apple for the iconic iPhone. However, Foxconn's model is going to be one wherein even other contract manufacturers, such as Pegatron or Tata Electronics for instance, can use components from this unit rather than import modules that are assembled in China. Swiggy has received market regulator approval for its $1.25 billion IPO. The company will now file an updated draft red herring prospectus, allowing a 21-day public feedback period. The IPO aims to raise Rs 3,750 crore in fresh capital and Rs 6,664 crore through an offer for sale. Major investors like Prosus and SoftBank may sell part of their holdings. In view of the growing investment interest in India among global investors, the government is planning to set up 10 trade and investment promotion offices across the world in the coming months. The offices will be set up by government-promoted investment facilitation agency Invest India in collaboration with National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation and industry bodies like Confederation of Indian Industry. The first such office for trade and investment promotion was inaugurated by Piyush Goyal in Singapore on Sunday. Locations which have been identified for setting up of offices include Dubai, Zurich, New York, and Saudi Arabia. The Delaware Supreme Court has upheld a ruling that Byju's defaulted on its $1.2 billion term loan, allowing lenders to take control of Byju's Alpha Inc., the company's American subsidiary. The loss is a setback for Byju's as it closes its options of monetizing platforms like Epic and Great Learning, which are part of the US subsidiary, which it was looking to sell off to raise funds. The Burmans, promoters of consumer goods major Dabur, have withdrawn from the race to acquire around 40% stake in Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages or HCCB, the bottling arm of Coca-Cola India. Discussions are currently on only with Bhartiyas of Jubilant Foodworks for the proposed investment in HCCB, with the latter looking to close the transaction by the end of the current calendar year. HCCB has valued the 40% stake at around rupees 10,000 to rupees 11,000 crore, with the enterprise value of the firm at rupees 25,000 to rupees 33,000 crore. Hyundai Motor India Limited, the Indian arm of South Korean automaker Hyundai, has received approval from the Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI to float an initial public offering or IPO. The company submitted its draft papers in June 2024 and the IPO might hit the markets in October. This is significant for the Indian automotive industry as Hyundai will become the first automaker to launch an IPO in more than 2 decades after Maruti Suzuki's IPO in 2003. The Supreme Court on Wednesday questioned the Byju's decision to settle Rs 158 crore debt that the edutech firm owed to the Board of Control for Cricket in India or BCCI and leaving substantial Rs 15,000 crore dues of other creditors including US lender Glass Trust Co. LLC. The bench, which will resume the hearing on Thursday, hinted that it sent the case back to the Insolvency Appellate Tribunal for fresh adjudication by applying its mind to the source of money. Smartphone brands are increasing their marketing and advertising budgets by 15 to 20% to capitalize on the upcoming festive season. The focus is on offering price discounts to clear stocks and target the mid to premium segment. Companies are also incentivizing offline retailers with cashbacks, free phones, and trips to Europe. SEBI's updated study reveals that 93% of over 1 crore individual traders in the equity F&O segment incurred losses between financial year 22 and financial year 24, with an average loss of rupees 2 lakh per trader. The top 3.5% of loss makers faced an average loss of rupees 28 lakhs. Only 1% of traders earned profits above rupees 1 lakh. Meanwhile, proprietary traders and FPIs booked profits of rupees 33,000 crore and rupees 28,000 crores in financial year 24, driven by algorithmic trading. Individual losses exceeded rupees 1.8 lakh crore over the last 3 years. India's natural diamond polishing industry is expected to see revenues plummet 25 to 27% on year to a decadal low of around $12 billion this fiscal. This was mainly on account of 3 reasons: muted demand in key export markets of the US and China, a 10 to 15% fall in diamond prices amid oversupply, and shift in consumer preference towards lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds have gained significant share due to their affordability and high resemblance to the natural ones. Tokyo Electron Limited seeks to build a team of chip engineers in India to better ride the Modi government's push for more semiconductor manufacturing in the world's most populous country. The company plans to hire and train chip engineers in India by 2026, aligning with the Modi government's push for semiconductor manufacturing. The company will support Tata Electronics and expects global chip demand to double by 2030. Tokyo Electron aims to expand its market share amid US-China trade tensions. Chris Capital is looking to create an investment platform as it closes in on at least 2 bakery, patisserie and dessert chains, Theobroma Foods and Belgian Waffle Co., at a combined valuation of around Rs 3,200 to Rs 3,500 crore. It has a 60-day window to submit a binding offer for Theobroma and is aiming to finalize the terms of acquisition of Bloom Bay Enterprises, which owns and runs Belgian Waffle, for around Rs 1,000 crore in the next 30 days. The insolvency watchdog IBBI has tweaked regulations to allow the hiring of an interim representative for a group of creditors like home buyers until the bankruptcy court approves the final appointment to expedite the rescue of stressed real estate companies. These changes include appointing an interim representative for large creditor groups like home buyers to ensure the effective representation during insolvency proceedings. This aims to enhance efficiency and fairness in the insolvency process. SEBI has issued parameters for the performance evaluation of market infrastructure institutions. These parameters aim to ensure consistency and uniformity in evaluations conducted by independent external agencies. The evaluation shall be on 7 key criteria. Further, market infrastructure institutions are required to appoint independent external agencies to evaluate their performance every 3 years. The agencies need to have relevant experience in the securities market and must receive an NOC from SEBI. IBBI has notified the IBBI insolvency resolution process for corporate persons Second Amendment Regulations 2024. As per the amended norms, the choice of an insolvency professional to act as an authorized representative by a financial creditor in Form CA must not be considered if Form CA is received after the time stipulated in public announcement. Further, the insolvency professional selected must be entitled to attend committee meetings and have the rights and duties of an authorized representative. Tata Advanced Systems Limited or TASL is establishing a defense manufacturing plant in Casablanca, Morocco, marking India's first overseas defense factory. The plant will produce wheeled armored platforms for the Royal Moroccan Armed Forces and aims to serve the broader African market. This move signifies Tata's entry into the growing African defense sector. Union Civil Aviation Minister Kinjarapu Rammohan Naidu announced plans to increase India's airports from 157 to 350 by the year 2047, aiming to boost tourism and connect more locations. He praised the UDAN scheme for making air travel accessible and highlighted the Chalo India campaign's visa fee exemption for 1 lakh foreign tourists. Following the previously issued consultation paper, SEBI has now notified amendments to the SEBI Delisting of Equity Shares Regulations 2021. Under the amended norms, the acquirer can now delist through fixed price process if the company's shares are frequently traded. Further, the acquirer must offer a delisting price at least 15% above the floor price. The acquirer shall be bound to accept the equity shares tendered or offered in the delisting offer if the post-offer shareholding of the acquirer, along with the shares tendered by the public shareholders, reaches 90% at the fixed delisting price offered by the acquirer. The Bengaluru bench of National Company Law Tribunal or NCLT on Friday pulled up cash-strapped quick commerce platform Dunzo for failing to settle dues with its creditors despite being given enough time. Reliance Retail and Google are the major investors in Dunzo. After 2 years of decline, private equity transactions in India have risen by 8.9% in the first 9 months of 2024, reaching $24.2 billion compared to $22.23 billion in the same period in 2023. The financial services sector led the surge, with deals totaling $6.3 billion, accounting for 26% of all transactions as on Friday. The technology sector followed with $5 billion, while non-cyclical and cyclical consumer sectors recorded $4.3 billion and $3.5 billion respectively. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.